What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Tim, back with another video, back at the lake, just taking my morning walk. And as I was walking around, I started thinking about comfort zones. Okay, and I was like, let me turn the camera on and share my thoughts with the peoples, with the community, with my friends. This is what I do when I walk anyway, is I just have ideas and I just kind of expound upon them and like think about them. And that's really what I do most of my life. It's just wander around and think about stuff. So today I was wandering around thinking about comfort zones. And I think I've been guilty of overly demonizing comfort zones, okay? I've talked a lot in the past about getting out of your comfort zone, how your comfort zone is killing you, things of that nature. And I think I've come to the realization that I've been overly critical of comfort zones, right? I think they play a part. I'm starting to realize that there's nothing wrong with having a comfort zone and having built like a comfortable, safe space for yourself. I think it's actually a good thing. And comfort zones can be physical, they can be emotional, they can be mental, they can be a lot of different things. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having built a comfortable space for yourself that you like to spend time in. However, I think it's important to also get out of your comfort zone. The older I get, the more experience I get, the more I realize that like everything in life is balance. And so I think you need a comfort zone, but I also think you need what I used to call discomfort zones, but I'm gonna start calling them growth zones. I think you need growth zones because the problem with our comfort zones is that very little growth goes on within them. Right? Because like in life, you grow as you go through things. Discomfort brings you growth, right? As you struggle, as you learn, that's how you grow. And when we're in our comfort zones, by their very definition, we want to keep all that suffering and uncomfortable stuff and all that new stuff out. By definition, your comfort zone is comfortable. So you don't want none of that new stuff coming in. Right? So there's very little growth, there's very little learning in our comfort zone. And that's the problem with them. Now, if you want to live a life with no growth, if you want to live a life where like you don't learn anything new in the next few years, that's cool. If you're good where you're at, that's cool. But for those of us who want to level up in life, for those of us who want to learn more in life, excuse that weed eater over there, sorry. But for those of us who want to learn more in life, we can't just stay in our comfort zones and expect to like grow. If we want to level up in life, you can't just stay in your comfort zone. So we need growth zones. We have to do things that we don't know about. We have to try new things. We have to go new places. We have to interact with new people. We have to do the things that make us feel uncomfortable because then we grow. And the cool thing is, the more you do those things, then they become comfortable to you. They become part of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone actually expands, right? So you got more in your comfort zone, which means that like when it's time to grow again, you got to do even more, And so it's this perpetual just like leveling up in life. So I think it should be like a balance of, growing and then going back to your comfort zone and enjoying the growth and appreciating it, and then realizing like, okay, it's time to do some growing again, and going back into a growth zone for a little while, doing something that challenges you, doing something you're scared to do. I mean, those are the best things, folks. If we're scared to do, them birds was close. If we're scared to do it, if it makes us like damn near physically sick to think about doing something, those are the things we need to do. Because that's where the real growth is. That's where the real leveling up is. But like once you've done that, it's fine to dip back to your comfort zone and enjoy it. Dip back to your comfort zone and enjoy it for a little while. It's okay. And then when it's time, be like, all right, I'm trying to do some growing again. And I was just thinking about like one of the beautiful things of this life is you never know which direction you're going to grow in, right? When we do jump out of our comfort zone and we do things that make us uncomfortable and we interact in a way with the world that we're pretty sure is going to cause us to grow, we don't know what direction we're going to grow in. right? Or what we're going to learn. It's just like you plant a seed in the ground and you know it's a tree. You're pretty sure the tree is going to like grow upwards, but you don't know in what direction. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, look at this tree right here. It's growing upwards, but like, you know, some branches are going that way, some are going that way, some are, you know what I mean? Like, when we start learning and growing, we don't know what we're going to learn. We don't know in what direction we're going to grow. So it's really cool to like just put ourselves out there and then just like get this new learning and growth in. It's just like, wow, I had no clue this is what life was going to take me through this year. It's kind of like if you sign up for like a science class, you know you're going to learn some science, but you don't know what science you're going to learn because you haven't taken the class yet. You don't know yet. The funny thing is in life, a lot of times we think we know it all, or we think that like we know what we can learn. But that's not the way this planet, this universe is set up. There are so many cool, awesome things, little things, big things, medium-sized things. There are so many things that we can learn, so many things that can hit us, so many things we can learn to appreciate, so many areas about ourselves that we can improve in. A lot of times we think I know this happens to me all the time. I'll think I have an area locked down, and then life will show me something totally different about it. Life will show me I think I'm at the expert level. Life will show me I'm down there at the novice level. You got some work to do, Tim. And it's cool. It's uncomfortable in the beginning, but it's cool. It's good to grow. It's good to put yourself out there. It's good to see new things. It's good to know new stuff. And then when you get a little tired of that, like I said, you can jump back into your comfort zone and enjoy the fruits of your labors. It's all about balance. I feel like that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, is that it's all about balance. And so many things that in years past I just thought were negative, or I thought were bad, or I thought just wasn't part of the equation. I'm realizing, I just changed from one extreme to the other. And it's like, no, life is in the middle. Like, life happens in the middle, Any extreme is kind of, any extreme, you kind of messing up. But a lot of times we go from one extreme all the way to the other side. But it's like, no, you can live in the middle. You can enjoy the comfortable life you've set up for yourself, but also know that, like, routinely, it's probably important to take yourself out of that so that you can grow and so that you can expand that comfort zone. And like I said before, the more you do that, the more comfortable you get with discomfort, the more you're going to have to do to get uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, once you pass the second grade, if you go back through the second grade, you ain't learning nothing new. So like, once we learn certain things in life, if you just keep doing the same stuff over and over again, you're not learning nothing new. So like, we got to get back out there and do something even bigger, do something that scares us even more. And that's great. That's great, because that can turn into a life that is just, you can look back 5 years from now and be truly astounded at the things you've been able to do, the growth you've had, the things you've been able to accomplish. But also, like, it makes life interesting. The reason people get bored with life a lot of time is because they just solely sit in their comfort zone. And like I said, in your comfort zone, you actively try to keep new stuff from coming in because you want to stay comfortable. So obviously you're going to get bored. People say that all the time, like, I'm just so bored. What's the point in this? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, especially when they've spent the time to try to like have a good life. And then they get to like this good life and they get bored with it. This is why you see people turning to vices and addictions, things of that nature, because they need something exciting, something stimulating in their life, because this comfortable life they've created, there's nothing new in it. It's just the same old stuff day in and day out. And even though it might be cool, you need growth. You need something else. I know one thing I've found is that, and for me, one of the things I love to do that expands my mind, that makes me uncomfortable, but I love doing it, is like traveling to new places. I don't care how much you travel, you go to a new city, new country, there's gonna be some discomfort while you're figuring out, the way it is, the lay of the lands. I've noticed that for me, and I've said this many times, I don't get the big illnesses in life, but I get a few reoccurring small illnesses. So I'll be struggling with something health-wise for a couple months, and then like it goes away for like 6 months and it comes back. I've learned to deal with it. I've noticed that when I'm in my comfortable space, in a daily routine, maybe working a W-2 job, those little health things are a huge deal. Like, they really bother me because I have nothing new coming in to focus on. Or when I'm working a W-2 regular job, I'm at a place for a while, I really get caught up in all the stuff happening at work because that's all I got coming in. You got to focus on something in life to live. Like, that's just the way it is. You got to focus on something. And when I'm just doing the same thing day in, day out, even if I might enjoy it, I find myself focusing more on the negative, like the illnesses I might be going through, the drama going on at work, stuff like that. When I vary my schedule up, when I get out of my comfort zone, when I'm doing different stuff, especially when I'm traveling, all that stuff, even if I'm still dealing with it, and some of that I won't be, I don't have to deal with the work stuff when I'm traveling, but even when I get out of my comfort zone while still working, when I give myself something new to deal with or to focus on, all that other little stuff, I don't even, it's still there a lot of times, but it doesn't bother me. I'm not focused on it. I might still be at the same level of health, but when I've got other new stuff coming in, I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm focusing on that, I'm trying to figure that out, I don't focus on the other stuff. I'll look up 2 months later and it's gone away again. And I'm like, oh, my back's not hurting. My plantar fasciitis isn't hurting. My stomach's not really messing with me. Just like all the little things, the headaches are gone. All the little things I deal with on a regular basis that sometimes become mountains. When I got some other stuff going on, they become molehills and then they disappear. So that's another reason I think to get out of our comfort zone is because our comfort zones can be, just almost unhealthy for us because there's no new stimulation. Now, the cool thing is also, like I said, when you get out and you come back, you want that lack of new stimulation for a while. I've been out here, I've been ripping and running. I just want to chill out for a few months and it's good. It feels good to be back in your comfort zone. So I think we need to spend time in both areas. Comfort zone's good for what it's good for. It allows you to chill out. It allows you to relax. It's a safe space. It allows you to get your routine. You can just you can breathe. You can live life. You can enjoy life. But every now and then, and we all know for ourselves what it looks like, but we all know kind of the things we want to do that we're scared to do. I think every now and then we got to do some of that. And I honestly feel like the things that scare us the most, that keep coming up and we keep avoiding them because we're nervous, but we low-key want to do them, are the things that will provide us the best growth. I think the universe kind of lets us know what works for us. There's a reason why there's things that your friends want to do, you've never thought about doing. Why would I want to do that? Or things you keep thinking about doing, your friends or your mate or other people is why would I ever want to do that? That's way too scary. Why would I ever? But for you, I think that the universe is prodding. I know it does it to me a lot. It's hey, Tim, you should do this. Tim, you should do this. Tim, you should do this. And I'm why does this keep coming up? Because I think that's an area where I'll get some growth. I don't know what growth, because I don't know what I'll learn because I haven't learned it yet. But I think it's an area where it'll be very beneficial to me. And when I finally, jump up out that comfort zone and go do it, on the back end of it, I'm oh, and sometimes it might take a while. Sometimes you learn something and don't even realize you learned something until you get put in a situation a year and a half later and you oh, that's why I went through that, or that's why, okay, doing that. Life is like that. Life isn't always linear. You do this, life likes to circle back. It likes to jump ahead. It likes to do, you know what I mean? A year later, 2 years later, you're oh, that's why that happened, or I went through that to get me ready for this. Oh, So, in conclusion, comfort zones are cool, but I think growth zones are kind of cooler. I think we need to spend a time in both of them if we're going to have the most well-rounded, enjoyable, meaningful life. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comment box below. I love y'all. Talk to y'all later.